Yeah, there's no sound because we were on mute.
So we had to reboot and then we had to turn everything off and then turn it back on again. So technology in its finest.
You guys, technology with a mixture of OE.
Yeah. No.
Operator error on the mute part.
Well, you know what? When you're trying to fix stuff, you don't want to say something that would be, let's just say inappropriate.
Oh, God Bless America said, OMG, Stanley being a boomer. Yikes. What's up, Philip?
Hello, Philip. By the way, thank you for the star, Philip. We appreciate that. You gave us a star last time. We didn't acknowledge it, and I saw it after the fact.
Nice. Thank you, Philip.
And I think another person, Celestial, gave me 50 stars.
Awesome.
Which is pretty cool. Thank you. And that was for video on Facebook. If you're just joining us, we had a little glitch at the top. And we want to talk about...
A little glitch.
Well, it's something we couldn't control. We could see us, which means that you should have been able to see us. But we're using Restream, and for some reason, there was a glitch that we had to reboot and come back again. So here we are. Hello.
Hello.
All right. So I wrote on a title that we're going to talk about Phoenix versus California. But
no,
before we get to that,
that's not what you wrote.
California versus Phoenix.
California versus Arizona.
Well, Arizona's in Phoenix.
Arizona's the entire state. Well, first of all, I want to say one thing.
We're not going to talk about it yet.
Oh, we're not? Oh, man, I really wanted to bring something up that we talked about yesterday.
Okay, what was it? Forget it. Let's move on. No, what is it?
Something that's effective January 2020.
Oh, we're not going to deal with that yet.
We're not going to talk about that?
We will.
All right.
We will. I don't want to go to it yet. We got other things to go through, first of all.
Okay.
So,
what do we have to go through first?
CRV.
We talked about CRV last time.
I know. But there's something new.
What?
That don't ever go to...
We talked about that last time.
All right.
Don't ever go to the recycling plant?
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Did we talk about that last time?
No, we did.
Okay, then you start.
We went to a recycling plant.
I thought we did.
We might have touched on it, but...
Yeah, because I was like, I used to do it when I lived in LA, and it was like a breeze, and then we decided to do it here.
No.
And...
Not doing that.
CRV, yep, Gabriel, that's right. CRV is a model of Honda. And I brought that up to a friend because I was telling her, man, I'm just getting readjusted to everything California. And she goes, oh, I didn't know you got a Honda. And I was like, huh? And she goes, CRV? And I was like, oh, no, I'm talking about the recycling. So here in California, I think in Maine, Hawaii.
So what does CRV stand for?
A few other... I have no idea.
It don't stand for California.
No, I know, but I'm saying CRV is in just a few number of states. It's not everywhere in the U.S.
Did you know that it's illegal?
What does CRV stand for?
I don't know.
How are you gonna ask and not
recycling, know? I don't know. Virtue. Anyway, did you know that you can't bring cans from Arizona into California?
I knew that. It's a violation.
It's a law, but you can run out in the street starting January the 1st.
You don't ride it? You mean walk in the middle of the street?
No, run out in the middle of the street. Anyway, so hello, everyone. We are so happy to be here.
Oh, California, isn't it? California refund value.
So wait a minute. So how's it CRV in another state?
Well, you know how so for example, here it says...
How is it California...
Wait, I'm looking for the CRV. Value. Do you not get CRV on these cans?
In other states.
Do you not get CRV on these cans?
I don't know.
Maybe because they're...
It should say it somewhere.
No, it doesn't say it on this.
Okay. So because they sell them all over the place, and I guess they said, we're not going to print something just for California.
Well, there is something that says Hawaii or Maine or something that's 5 cents for what would be 10 cents here.
So would you buy a CRV in Hawaii?
You don't buy CRV, Beeb. You have to pay.
Talking about the Honda car.
And why is it a refund if we don't even get the refund unless we turn it in?
Because it sounds good.
Oh, CRV is going to happen on wine and liquor bottles. California redemption. Oh. Yeah, redemption sounds more like what I thought. Stanley, do you own a dolly? Just wondering because it's very handy, especially when moving. We did have a dolly. He gave it to our Amazon Prime, or he gave it to one of our Amazon delivery people in Phoenix. Am I right?
Okay. I had a dolly for 20 years.
He gave it to someone.
I went outside my door one day, and there was an Amazon lady pulling a bag, struggling with the bag to get it to door. And I asked her, well, doesn't she have a cart? You know, they do make things called carts. And she said, yeah, someone stole her cart. And I felt overwhelmed that someone stole her cart and she had no cart. So I gave her the cart that we had, a cart that I had for years that I rarely ever used.
It's a dolly, right?
A dolly, okay. Dolly Parton that I rarely ever used. And so I gave it to her. And I'm thinking, oh, this would be great. I did a good deed, right? So she can roll around with the cart. And then I see her like 3 days later and she don't have a cart again. I'm like, well, where's the cart? Oh, it's in a different van. Somebody took a different van this time. I'm like,
no good deed goes unpunished?
It was a collapsible cart, so she could have took it anywhere she went.
No good deed goes unpunished?
No good deed goes unpunished.
But I mean, it was the thought that counted. But that's why we don't have a dolly anymore.
But we didn't
really need it.
We have no need for a dolly. And that wasn't the kind of dolly that it wasn't made to move a house with. That was a dolly to move like a box of donuts or something.
You don't need a dolly to move a box of donuts.
Exactly. It was a TV cart for shipping TV stuff.
You're missing some comments.
No, I'm not. I'm ignoring them. No, I'm kidding. Hey, Stanley, I'm planning a trip to see my nephews on the West Coast. Would you do my heart good if you could be there at Paul's? Yeah, let me know when you're going to be there because that way I can plan my vacation to go elsewhere. I'm just kidding. Let me know when you get there and we'll try to visit Uncle Philip.
I mean, you made my jaw crack when you said that.
No, that's from chewing gum.
I don't chew gum.
Total scam. Okay, now let's get into California versus.
What's a total scam? CRV or the fact that the dolly?
No, CRV. That's what I'm assuming. All right, let's talk about it because this is what everybody's waiting for.
Well, let's talk about this because California versus Arizona.
California versus Arizona.
Okay, just for
the record, we were there exactly 4 years.
I want to start off just with one thing.
Confirm though, right? Exactly 4 years.
We lived in Arizona for exactly 4 years.
Okay, so you tell me what you like about Arizona, and I'll tell you.
No, I just want to say. I want to just preface this with one thing.
Preface.
Okay, that's what I said.
I'm
do we love California?
Yes.
Do we love Arizona?
Yes.
Oh, I should have changed it. Do you love California?
I love them both.
Do you love Arizona?
I literally just said I love them both.
Okay, so let's.
I'm not going to bash.
So let's start this off though.
My Arizona people.
No, I'm not saying. Do you love the people of Arizona?
I would say that I love California more. If there would be a child, and if Arizona and California's on an airplane, and the pilot said for me to give the mask to the one that I think had the most, that I wanted to stick around the longest, then I would have to put the mask on California. Only because the ocean.
Excuse me.
The ocean. Well, you doing what you always laugh at me for doing?
I am because I'm having sparkling water. Okay, I have no comment for that, but all right.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so
I'm just saying.
All right, well that's good. Okay, so 30-day observation. It's been 30 days since we moved.
Okay, so it's been 32 days if you ask Gabriel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
Gabriel be like, oh, it's been 32 days.
You do know that California disappears, then Arizona would have the ocean, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. I said this before.
And not to mention, every time we go on a walk near the ocean, Stanley literally envisions and says, "Okay, we're in Arizona right now. That's Quartzsite. That's the 10. This is Arizona. California's gone." So every single time we walk near the ocean, he envisions us being in Arizona as if California already fell off. So we are well aware of that, Gabriel. Thank you.
But what I was saying was if we were on the 10 freeway in Quartzsite and there was a major catastrophic earthquake where California fell into the ocean, Quartzsite and the Colorado River would become the coast, and we would have front row seats.
And he envisions that every single time we walk.
We'd have to move the San Monica Pier to Quartzsite. I'm just saying.
Anyways, all right. So
Arizona versus California. Arizona versus California.
Yep.
And just for the record, we're not here to bash either one.
Nope.
So this is not a bashing. If you're waiting to get bashed, I'm not here to hurt feelings. We're just going to talk about the differences.
And we're talking about our experiences, not anybody else's.
Here's one particular difference, and it's only a mile apart, maybe 2 miles.
Oh, I already know what you're going to say.
Quartzsite and Blythe. And there's a city right after Quartzsite, which is right by the Colorado River.
And let's just say this impacts your wallet.
So on the one side of the river, gas is $3.30. and then you go a mile, maybe 2 miles, and then the gas jumps up $2 to a little more than $2, $5.60, and it's literally the same country, but only 2 miles apart. There's two different prices.
2 miles apart.
Yeah, it's roughly 2 miles. Once you get across, the place that right after you have the freeway, there's another gas station. Once you go to that little checkpoint where they check you for fruit, but they never really check you for fruit.
Oh, okay.
It's a fake checkpoint for fruit, but they are looking for other things. Because
Mm-hmm.
why would the Border Patrol be at a fruit check stand? I'm just saying.
All right.
All right.
So you're one thing that stands out to you right now. The difference is the gas prices.
Right.
Okay, that's true. Because you know what? This is what he likes. He told me that I torture myself. He says basically I torture myself because when I do research on where to get gas, I look at the Costco app. And I think we talked about this last week. And we look at the Costco app. I look at the prices near us, decide where to go get gas. I just so happen to be on the app, and I will just slide over and go to Arizona and look to see how much the gas prices are. And I did check today, and Costco Business Center was like $3.70 something,
Okay, yes.
I think,
Okay.
or Phoenix Business Center. So, anyways, I still torture myself.
Yeah, she does.
And I still live in I wish I could get Arizona gas.
So she's having these. I wish I was in Arizona if the price were for cheaper prices. But I love California.
I do miss some things about Arizona, though.
Now, also, we want to talk about something that's important.
God Bless America says, is Arizona predominantly a liberal state? God Bless America, where are you from?
America, apparently.
No, Arizona is not a liberal state.
So, anyway, truck speed limits are...
Oh, yeah, that's a major difference, yep.
And that is...
Arizona doesn't have any.
Well, they have speed limits.
It's the speed limit for everyone, though.
In California... Well, you remember we were coming back from Texas and speed limit was 80, and I'm doing 85, and the trucks that were like 14 miles behind me caught up and passed me.
Yeah.
How the heck do you pass me from 14 miles back? I see you coming. I'm like, there's no way you can catch me. I'm already 5 miles over, and he still catches me, and they go right past you like, oh yeah, I'm doing 90, 100, a big rig doing 100. California, they're not supposed to exceed 55. They're not supposed to, but we all know they do. And cars, but in Arizona, it's every man for himself, and they could be in any lane. So you could be cruising down cruising down the street in my 6'4", and then you see a big rig in number one lane going, me too.
That's one of the things that actually scared me when we first moved to Arizona was the fact that there was this big rig that was driving a lot faster than me, and I was like, wait, isn't the speed limit 70? And I feel like the truck was doing maybe 80, 85.
If you're not a good driver in Arizona,
I am a good driver. Just had to let you guys know. We talked about this last week too.
Yeah, but how was your driving test that you've been trying to do online? Anyway, so
I haven't taken it yet, by the way. I'm nervous.
So if you're not a good driver in Arizona, don't go to Arizona, because in Arizona...
If you're not a good driver in Arizona, don't go to Arizona. You're already in Arizona if you're not a good driver there.
If you're not a good driver, don't go to Arizona, because it can be intimidating. Because driving in Arizona is this is the only state I know where people can be driving in front of you and then just turn the wheel into a wall.
Here?
No, here.
In California.
Arizona.
You said here. That's why.
No, that's not what. Stop correcting me.
I said here, and you said here in Arizona.
No. You said here. I'm saying in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Where they turn the wheel into crash into a wall.
I'll tell you what someone did to me in California today, though, and what someone has done to me a few times while I've been here, is they'll make a really wide turn, get into the same lane as me in front of me, and then just stop because they don't know where they're going. And I'm like, you don't do that.
Okay, so here's another big one.
Okay.
So how do you know you're about to be pulled over in California on the highway?
You get lit up.
By?
CHP.
What color is it usually?
Red and blue.
Really? What city you live
in?
I didn't say what color the lights are.
Oh.
What color is the car?
Oh. The blue. The car is black and white.
And sometimes
it's I don't know.
All white.
Oh, yeah. The ghost ones. Yeah. White.
The polar bears.
Polar bear. Why did I call it ghost?
In Arizona, how do you know you're being pulled over?
You don't.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
Because an undercover car can pull you over.
Every single car out there except for the SUVs are unmarked. And you can tell because sometimes they have a G on the plate.
Yeah,
but
they're not front plates though, so
but it could be a Camaro. So you think you're cruising along, you see a Camaro next to you, you go, "Ooh, I'm gonna race that Camaro. I'm gonna race you. Hey, come on, man, what you got?"
And next thing you know, you're racing a trooper.
And I remember one of the guys that did a ride along with from Phoenix saw a car speeding, and he rushed up to grab a hold of it, and he pulled up next to it to look in the car to see who the driver was, and caught a glimpse of a laptop.
Oh, and then realized it was
another undercover, unmarked car. Yeah. So they use a lot of unmarked cars in Arizona, which is not allowed in California. You have to have it marked to do patrol. So you never know who you're riding along with out there in Arizona. You know, all of a sudden you're sitting there and it doesn't even have to be a Camaro.
They have like Chargers too, I think.
But here's the one that got me. And this is my first week in Arizona. I'm watching the news.
Parrish said unmarked Dodge Charger.
I'm watching the news and I see this guy on video that the news had a chopper over and said he was being chased by the police.
Yeah, and you're like,
but there's no police around. Just a bunch of utility trucks.
It was a I know that
and one of them had a ladder on it. And I'm like, well, wait, these guys are losing their mind. There's no cops. All I see is utility trucks.
Yeah.
Right? And apparently the car was stolen. And I'm like, but wait, where did all these utility trucks come from out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one of the utility trucks pulled up on the back of the car and just did a pit on it. I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on? Why are plumbers pulling?
Plumbers?
Wow. And then they jump out with these AR-15s or whatever guns they have.
AR-15, babe?
Do you know what the AR-15 is?
No, I do, but are you sure it was AR-15?
I said whatever kind of gun it was.
Oh, okay.
AR-15 style guns, like the news says.
Okay.
They had long guns.
Okay.
And I'm like, what is going on? Why are plumbers jumping out with guns? What is going on? And then somebody goes, oh, those aren't plumbers. Those are the police. What? The police in plumber trucks? So you could be riding along this truck, it's full of rust, and all of a sudden, boom, they light you up. And these guys, their whole job is to go after stolen cars. And they use a little device that actually sends cables underneath your tire.
Yeah,
to stop the car from
Phoenix based, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Phoenix. It was created in Arizona.
Yeah,
that whole thing of.
I thought that was cool. They don't use those out here though, right?
Yeah,
the little cable things.
I don't.
I think that would be cool if they did.
Just for the record, I haven't stolen a car, so I don't even know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen it on the news here, perhaps.
I haven't stolen a car yet, although I'm waiting for someone to leave something running just so I can jump in it and take off. And then park it a block away and go, oh, man, I'm sorry. My bad. I thought you was giving it to me. I thought you thought I was a valet. Anyway, the grappler. Thank you. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the grappler. That's right, okay. Connor. Thank you.
So the difference in Arizona is, and the city police, too, they use unmarked cars. Because one of my Phoenix guys, who's a traffic guy, I'm in the car now. When I get in the cars, they literally put the printer right on the front seat on the floor. So I'm in the car with both feet straddling a printer. So I'm like, please, God, whatever you do, don't crash. Because obviously, if I slide forward, my crotch is going into the printer. That's going to be a rather,
that doesn't sound good.
You're like, well, we would have saved him, but the printer, crushed his nuts.
In other news.
So that's what we agree about that one, right?
That's what?
We agree about the police.
Yeah, that is a difference for sure.
But I will say this. They also have a shortage of traffic cops in some cities. So they didn't do a lot of enforcement. They did a lot of cleanups, crashes, because people would just crash all over the place. It'd be just random crashes in the morning, 10, 15 crashes. I'm like, how do people crash so much? I've never known in my life. And our insurance actually went down when we got to Arizona California. And with lower, so we have zero deductible, which means right now we can literally run into a wall and it'll just give another car.
Don't want to do that.
But we don't want to do that.
Definitely don't want to do that.
So let me express this real quick because this is something that I see a lot, and it's hard to try to explain to people that they think that a cop is a cop is a cop is a cop. That is not necessarily true. Traffic cops deal with
traffic.
beat cops deal with. Don't say beats.
I wasn't. I was
You were
going
about
to say specific.
Okay, what? You were about to say beats. I saw your mouth.
Specific
Beats by
beats.
Dre.
Specific beats.
No, they deal with.
They deal with like.
Say the word with a C.
Crime.
Right. So now I'm not saying the traffic cops don't deal with crime, but they normally deal with the traffic-related incidents. But then they sprinkle them.
I meant you put me on blast.
Because you're about to say beats.
I was gonna say specific beats. Beets isn't like the kind you eat.
That's Beets. Yeah, Beats by Dre in a jar. You've been pickled beets by Dre. Pickled beets by Dre.
No.
Okay.
Gabriel says, "Don't start this Dr. Dre business again."
Oh, by the way, we have a new drinking device.
Oh, I don't have one. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, so moving on to round 4, I think, because somebody was keeping track of the rounds.
Wait, real quick. Bill Van Ram says, "Are the washer and dryer you want to replace gas or electric?"
Electric.
Electric.
And just for the record, we are renting, so they don't. We only want to do it because, as I said before, and I asked on Facebook any recommendations. Of course, everybody told me about how I should never get rid of it. This isn't my washer and dryer, so I'm not getting rid of it. It's going to be put in storage. Diane likes to wash things in delicate. That machine does not have the word delicate on it anywhere. It just says, what does it say?
Why are you putting me on blast?
Because you do wash clothes.
I do wash on delicates, but that's not the reason why we were considering getting.
Why are we considering it then?
Because our electric bill sucks.
No, you walked around in circles for 3 days.
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out how to use it though. How to delicately wash my clothes without the delicate option. But I told you I don't really care if we get a new washer or dryer.
Okay. Anyway, I asked about recommendations, and of course, everybody told me about how I should keep this workhorse, and it's not mine, so it's not a matter of me keeping it. I'm not giving it away. I'm just putting it away because when we leave, we still got to buy a washer and dryer, and there's a pretty good chance it's not going to be, an old one from 1996. So the key was to find one that, number one, saves water because we pay a water bill now, twice every 2 months.
Water,
We only get a certain amount of water we can use. So I don't want to be over that thing and have to pay a crap load of water, a lot of money for water. Then we get one of those little scrub boards. That's right, you'll know about that.
I know the scrub boards.
Anyway, are you ready to drive an electric car? No, because I don't think So funny thing about that, and let me come to that in a second.
Well, because that's a good California versus Arizona too, though. Electric cars.
That's not.
You want to know? No. I'll say this.
Okay.
California is definitely more outfitted for electric cars than Arizona is.
I disagree.
Really? Because how many times were we heading up to like Kingman area and we saw electric cars off on the side? And here at the mall, I mean, okay, Arizona at the malls, they have the plugins. What?
I disagree. What you're saying. I think neither one of the states are prepared.
No, I don't think the entire country is prepared. But what I'm saying is I think California is more prepared than Arizona.
Okay. If you have a Tesla, yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If you don't have a Tesla, you pretty much got to wait till you get home.
Yes.
And in Arizona, we saw them in Page, but in Page, they were Tesla.
But some of the other places here, though, like the malls, will have the electric for all the cars. Because I've seen like Leaf.
I know, but my point is, if you went to the mall right now, you see 3. But there's more people than 3 people. So there's a line of people waiting to use the charger.
No, I don't think that.
I don't think either state has done it right yet.
Okay.
And I think that, and even worse is that California, it fails with me because they say to you, hey, go electric, but go electric. But tonight we may shut off all your power. Don't charge your car right now because you're going to affect the grid. So then, if you're going to have electric cars, then have a way to and the funny thing about electric cars is we all say we're going green. But to power electric cars, you have to power it with electricity from wood chips or from fossil fuels. So how is that green if you're still getting a power source from unclean sources? That's not clean. That's the perception of clean, but that's not clean. I'm just saying, I watched the whole thing on a documentary about how bio companies or biotech, or I mean not biotech. Let me get it right. Bio companies are saying, "Hey, we're going green by using biofuels." What they are not telling people is these biofuels are from cutting down a whole bunch of wood and making wood chips. So they're cutting down a whole bunch of trees to make wood chips, so that we can say it's bio.
Yeah, we're ultimately still hurting the environment.
And then they said, well, if we run out of trees, we just realized that there's seaweed in the ocean, so we can cut all the seaweed out, and we can make that into fuel. But and then I'm thinking, wow, well, Sierra Club would never go for that, would they? The Sierra Club would never go for that kind of behavior. And then I found out that the Sierra Club is being funded by the same companies that are doing the bio, that are tearing everything up. So how is that? How are we really getting fixing our environment if the people who are supposed to help us with the environment are in bed with the people who are messing up the environment?
But don't you think that's how it is for a lot of other things too?
It's all about money, though. It's
always about money.
It's always about money. How much? And the people who are making the money are sitting back with their $1 billion homes and their 20 boats and what have you. And we're sitting there going, "What? I want to be green." But are you really being green? It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz, where every time it changes, the Oz. You ever seen the Oz? The Wiz.
The Wiz.
And
yeah.
The new color is red and the new color is green. So it's like we change, and we think that, hey, we're doing something to help the environment. But the thing that stood out to me the most, and I'm going to say this, is they had remember that concert, Save the Earth concert?
Yeah.
And the guy went on stage.
It was on Earth Day.
Concert,
yeah.
The guy went on stage and said, this entire concert is being powered by solar panels. The entire concert. So we are saving the Earth. And then the guy is doing an interview, and this good interview. He says, well, that's not really true. The solar panels are only powering the food stands, and the rest of it is being powered by diesel.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, diesel?
So it's perception versus reality. Like that Instagram thing we do is Instagram and reality. The Instagram is, look, I'm using green, but the reality is we're getting this stuff from sources that are not green.
Or Instagram is, I'm opening the window and enjoying the fresh air, but the reality is I have a whole bunch of stuff with moving boxes right below my feet.
So, yes, exactly.
You're not even paying attention.
No, I heard what you said. You talking about the one I made where you're looking out the window?
Yeah.
I know. But the fact of the matter is, that's...
We're still moving and unpacking boxes.
Perception versus reality is that we live in a world where we perceive that everything is going better, but in actuality, it's like tuna. There was another thing I read about tuna, how they were the same people that control sustainable tuna are the same people that are fishing for tuna. So how can you run? That's like me, the cat watching the chicken. Was it the fox walking the chicken coop?
I have no idea what you're saying.
The fox eats chickens,
mm-hmm.
but the fox says, "Hey, look, I'm putting these chickens in here, and I'll keep an eye on them, and you got to know they're safe." But in actuality, he's eating the chickens.
Yeah, so he's not keeping them safe. He's keeping them safe in his.
He's keeping his belly full.
Yep. Money. That's true. Okay, so Bill Van Ram has a good thought. EVs aren't green with the mining of lithium and other things used to make them.
Yeah. So I got chewed out once by someone on Twitter. I get chewed out all the time because I said that a lot of these electric cars are not green because what it uses to build these things is damaging, and then there's no way to put the batteries. And they went off on me. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah 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 blah. But I do know what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to get into an argument on Twitter. When you argue with an idiot, you end up with a headache, and the person still keeps on going. All right, so.
Okay, so.
Hi, Elaine. Thank you for finally catching us. The fox watching in now. Thank you. So that's what it is. So now the next thing is, let me lean forward because apparently I got Reese's peanut butter cup on my shirt. Oh, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I brought some lottery tickets.
Yay. Are those the winning tickets, though?
Of course.
They need to be the winning ones.
Oh, no, those are winning ones.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so you don't have to work anymore after tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, those tickets, there's no drawing tonight, though.
No, there's no drawing tonight.
So.
Just like this morning when you
asked me. So I still have to work tomorrow.
Just like this morning I told you that crabs weigh 2.4 million eggs, and you said, but the guys don't have eggs, do they?
So. No, I didn't say that. That's not how I said it. Stanley, since you moved back to California, are you going back where you used to work? Oh, God. How many times are you going to have to answer this question?
No. The answer is no. I'm not going back.
I'm like, how many times are you going to have to answer this question?
Okay. So California versus Arizona again. So we did the green. I think that they're both doing very poor.
Okay.
And you disagree, but I agree that they don't have it right yet. If it was right, then you wouldn't have to know when to charge your car. You could just charge it, power it, blah blah blah. Even solar panels. Even solar panels can't power.
They would be basically as widespread as gas stations, is what you're saying.
Right.
If we were ready.
Right. And then imagine though, how can you charge a car? You can't see. And I get this. We've been used to getting gas and moving on. And now all of a sudden you have to wait. I remember a story a lady did where she literally rented a Tesla and drove from Phoenix to Anaheim. In a trip that we've taken before that's roughly about 5 to 6 hours, it took her 9 hours because every few miles she had to pull over and recharge for an hour.
Yeah, recharging takes more time than filling up with gas.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
But is that a time versus money question or a time versus environmental or what?
Well, if you're using the electricity from the grid that's using money from oil that's being burnt, then there's no difference.
I love this fourth round, California versus Arizona EV cars rant draw.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's been keeping track of all the
Police
different things.
draw.
Yeah.
What was the second one?
You don't remember?
Oh, truck speeds. Yeah, 75, California 55. Oh, Massa Wells is keeping track.
All right, so the next thing is, so here's one. Okay, so California versus Arizona for renting an apartment.
Okay, one thing that Arizona got me with when we first got there, and I was like, what is this? Is why are we getting taxed on our rent?
Yeah, they tax your
rent.
They
add tax to rent when you live in Arizona. I'm like, so I thought ours was straight up just the amount, because when you rent here in California, the amount that they tell you is the amount you pay per month. If you live in like a bigger complex, yeah, you may have like some fees for amenities, whatever. But for the most part, like it's what your rent is. We moved to Arizona. They told us what our rent was. We were like, all right, cool. And then then the first time we paid our rent, we were like,
what is this?
Why is it like, what was it? How much more was it? It was like $50 more or something.
No, it was more. No, okay. Our rent was $1,500
minus the amenities, because they did the amenities.
Okay. So here's what they do in Arizona.
It's 8.6%, right?
So yeah, it's like you pay tax, but also we had something called valet service.
Oh gosh, where they made us put our trash out. We could bring it to the dumpster ourselves,
but they charge you $27 a month just for somebody to pick it up from your door.
Regardless of whether or not you actually have them pick it up, they will still charge you. So you might as well have them pick it up. But instead of just having us like have trash chutes, or where you could just bring it down to the dumpster yourself, they charged us. So we felt the need. Okay, well, we have to have someone pick it up.
So Gabriel said there's no statewide rental tax in Arizona. However, all but 2 cities in Arizona have a rental tax. Well, to me, it's statewide. All but 2 states.
What are the 2 cities, Gabriel? So obviously one of them is Phoenix, right?
No, because all but 2 cities in Arizona.
All but 2. Got it. Okay.
So there's the rental tax, and then but now I'll go back in a second to their benefit. They just passed the law, of course, after we leave, that for your state income tax is a flat 2%. But we left already.
Well, so that doesn't matter. But we're talking about rental. We're talking about renting, though.
So also they do that for you. They charge you for tax to rent. Also, if you're going to use a gym, now when you pay your rent, everything usually comes in with the rent. No, in Arizona, and I'm not sure how this works.
This could have been just with the company.
It could be, but no, because Joe Ducey.
That's right. He did a story on
how
that.
They were charging you $7 for amenity fee.
And they had valet too. Yeah, because you had to go check and say, wait, are we getting charged for our amenities?
And they said,
and we were, yeah.
And then, but here's the best part. I love this. So they charge you for renter's insurance. The
in addition to getting your own?
Yeah, so you have to get renter's. They charge you for renter's insurance, but you also have to get your own renter's insurance. So you're getting you're basically being billed for 2 rental insurances.
But I don't understand why.
I don't know. Now,
whereas here we are responsible for getting our renter's insurance.
Now the positive part about Arizona that I will say is that the most they can charge you for a deposit is $500.
Yeah, when you get to California, the most they can charge you is whatever the heck they want. I mean, they can make it as much as first month's rent. So not only are you paying first month's rent, but you're also paying a security deposit, so it's double the rent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here they can charge you, if your rent's $6,000 a month, they can say, I want first, last, and deposit.
Is the first and last a California thing though?
That's on the books in California. They can do that.
First and last and deposit?
And in some cases, I've seen deposits. So that works great for scammers.
Gabriel said, well, you managed to call him Joe Juicy and not Joe Juicy. Did you call him Joe Juicy before?
I don't know. You probably did.
No, you.
I used to work with Joe Juicy at Channel at Cron. Nobody knows that. Joe and I worked together. I used to be his photographer. Small world.
So Radar 2022 says AZ doesn't have rental prices increase laws, but California has law on books to stop rental prices rate hikes.
Only in certain cities. Yeah, and because some cities don't have that. What's so funny?
Gabriel said you used to call Doug Ducey Jug Juicy.
Yep, probably. Wasn't a big fan of it.
Oh my
God. Now here's the one that's going to really get you going.
Is it the J?
No. Let's talk about the difference in political commercials. No, we got to.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We first moved to Arizona. It was an election year, right? Yeah, it was because oh my gosh, the commercials nonstop. I mean, so we're in election season here now too. So moving back to California, it is a complete 180.
But the point I wanted to make was not the amount of commercials, but the commercials in California and Arizona were just brutal.
No, it's the amount of commercials and it's what
they
say
and the brutality of commercials.
Yeah, their commercials in Arizona for the elections are, in my opinion, horrific. Only because, and I say this, and not to mention too, you can have your signs or whatever, like they have bunches of signs just on the corner.
Yeah, but the signs don't always. But the signs in Arizona don't say, "Hey, I stand for this, I stand for that." Some of them just say "endorsed by Trump," and that's all they say.
They just say who they're endorsed by. So then, if you know who they're endorsed by, then they're hoping that you're already on the same page.
Yeah.
But those commercials are so bad to the point where like. They played them so much and the same ones to the point where like I could memorize them. And because I was working at a TV station and they kept playing the same ones over and over and I would constantly be listening to the TV, I had most of them memorized. It was really bad.
Well, remember the commercial, the one that really blew me away? Well, first of all,
was it the Martha McSally one?
Oh, that one drove me crazy. But the one that got me when I first got there was because I never heard this commercial before in my life living in California. It's about build the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we know that there was a wall thing going on, but it really became a marching tune for, I will get that wall built. And I'm like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, and this is our first moving in. So it was culture shock.
It was definitely culture shock because everyone was talking about getting the wall, like finishing the wall being built.
Wait. So Betty just joined the party. I can see you now. Betty, we've been up for like 39 minutes. What am I missing?
Betty, you okay?
Are you in delay mode? So also, gun rights were also, ironically, gun rights weren't a big issue in Arizona because Arizona was a constitutional carry state.
They're bigger here.
Gun
rights here, because in California, the state is primarily against guns, and in Arizona they're pro-gun. Whereas in Arizona they're finishing the wall, building the wall, and in California there's like no talk about a wall. I mean, mind you, we have San Diego that borders, right? But like the wall isn't really a thing here. So when we moved to Arizona, that was the shock. We're like, why do they keep talking about building the wall?
Like, what?
We're like, what? Like, and everything was about building the wall. No, there were some other things too.
I think my favorite of all things that went on was the ninja.
The fact that they had to recount
the ninja people.
Yeah, the cyber ninjas.
Yeah. That was, to me, that was, as a journalist,
the whole recount thing was big too.
Was interesting to me because like, what is going on? What is going on? But then fast forward to like the last 2 years, and they were running for election, and their whole thing was one guy had a thing up there, and all he did was let's go Brandon.
Oh yeah. So then in Arizona too, one of the big things for this pass, like for the primary, was everyone was like really focusing on either hating on Biden and supporting Trump, building the wall, or being like conservative. So like those were the like three phrases I remember, is like being conservative, Trump endorsed, and anti-Biden or something like that.
And on California side, they didn't like the California side was a whole different thing. They pushed the different things, but then you realize that there are laws that are being made in California. You wonder what the hell is going on with those.
Oh my gosh, the one law that that Governor Newsom just signed
those January 1st.
That has me baffled is the fact that effective January 1st, 2023, jaywalking is legal.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Jaywalking.
Can I say something about that?
We can jaywalk, guys.
Everybody, you know what? Do you understand? People don't understand this, and I'm going to put this out there. So, what is the definition of jaywalking?
I was just thinking about the definition I told you this morning.
Yeah, well, I
walked in a J and said, "Hey, I'm walking."
What is the definition of jaywalking?
Not using a crosswalk or an unmarked crosswalk to cross the street.
That is incorrect.
I knew it was incorrect. Okay. What is it?
So, the definition of jaywalking is crossing between two controlled intersections. What does that mean? So if you have a light here and a light here, these two are controlled intersections. So they expect you to walk from this point to this point to cross the street.
Which is really in a crosswalk, right?
Right. Unless there's a cop here controlling traffic, then that's a controlled intersection.
Okay.
So then they don't want you to cross here because there's already someone giving you a place to cross safely. Mm-hmm. That's what a controlled intersection was. A lot of people think that jaywalking is when you see the light it says don't walk and you keep walking. That's not jaywalking. That's actually walking against a pedestrian signal. That's a different citation. So there are many different citations for crossing the street. But jaywalking, that's again one of those, this whole don't jaywalk thing is kind of like one of those, look what we're doing. We're trying to make things better. And the fine print of this one was that it's going to help black, brown and black people who are disproportionately encountered by the police, which, this has.
First of all, I've seen all people of all colors jaywalk. That's number one, right? Yeah. I've seen all kinds of people jaywalk.
Just had another bot show up.
Oh, gross.
Hammer time.
Oh, Bill Van Ram says the wall is a thing. It depends on your political leanings. Yes, Bill, I definitely agree. The only reason we made that a point to mention is because when us moving from California to Arizona, that was never like a focus of any of the election stuff we were hearing when we were here.
It was new to us.
when we got to Arizona, that's all we heard. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is like a big deal here. So yes, I do understand that. That was just the whole point of us bringing that up. Jerry Brown made it legal to cross on the red hand. That's what Bill Van Ram says.
Say it again.
Jerry Brown made it legal to cross on the red hand.
Yeah, and again,
is that when the red hand is blinking?
Yeah. So for some reason, so I lost some stuff. So and just so you know, jaywalking, it says you can only do it if it's safe to do so. So you still can't just walk out in the traffic.
I really love Parrish's. My opinion, jaywalking should be legal only on the weekend, not on weekdays between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. That sounds like a carpool lane.
Yeah.
Or the lanes where the suicide lanes. That's what that sounds like. The suicide lanes in Arizona. They don't have those here, right?
Yeah, they do. They have them in
Oh, they do have them here?
Sunnyvale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Sunnyvale or Campbell maybe. I'm not
Massa
sure.
Wells says, yes, political ads a draw. Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, it's just back and forth, but it's just the difference of being California for 20 years and then going someplace else and seeing a different, and again, so let's talk about guns, because I have to mention the gun part, because everybody has this perception that everybody in Arizona is walking around with long guns strapped up, because you see tweets of a guy with a gun over his shoulder. And you go, oh my God, everybody's walking around with a gun. How many long guns have you seen when you've been there in 4 years?
None.
Right. Because no one does it.
No. I mean, I've seen people like carry
handguns
on their like open carry because it's legal.
It's legal there.
Like I'll go to the grocery store and randomly see like someone, but although a lot of the grocery stores have signage that says no firearms, but I did see one person at, I don't know if it was Trader Joe's. I think it was Trader Joe's with a handgun.
So Radar, we'll come back to your question, and Elaine, we're going to answer yours. We'll come back to yours in a second. She want to know what a suicide lane is.
Oh, okay.
I'll do that quick. So the lane's in the middle where you go this way or that way, and so a suicide lane is when the flow of traffic is all using one lane, and then in the other flow of traffic they use that same lane. The middle lane is called a suicide lane. So, so anyway, back to the guns. So, and I always say this joke: in Arizona, you can literally tape a gun to your forehead, basically, and walk around, and nobody, look at that. What kind of gun is that? A good example of, we did a traffic stop. Now, here's how things would have changed if this traffic stop was Arizona versus California. So I'm with Department of Public Safety, state troopers in Arizona. We're doing carpool violations. Mm-hmm. We pull over a car, and the guy has a loaded handgun in his seat with a hammer pulled back. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, this is about to go sideways, because I'm thinking gun exposed. Because I'm still thinking California. Yeah. He goes, hey, what kind of gun is that? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, give it to me. Let me put it on top while we talk. So he puts the gun on top, and I'm like, what is going on here? Because if this had been California and they pulled up and you had a gun in your front seat in some parts, and I'm not saying all parts of California, because not all parts of California are anti-guns. Only, and on Supreme Court just changed the rules that says now, but some cities are still saying, well, wait a minute. But in Arizona, it's kind of a culture. It's kind of like, so he put the gun up top, he wrote the ticket, and he gave me back his gun. And of course, if this had been California, there'd been a SWAT team, helicopter, a couple of armored car vehicles, and because somebody would have called and said, oh my God, this guy has a gun. But guns were like common there, and you see them in the waistbands, you see them in holsters, you see them, or you don't see them at all. And it's interesting. You'll see a guy pumping the gas with a Glock on. Yeah,
I was gonna say sometimes you don't see him at all, but like I know that because I was like, it was so new to me. All of a sudden, I just started assuming everyone was carrying because it's open carry, and because even though they're not showing, they could conceal it because it's legal. So, anyways, because in Arizona, you don't have to have a concealed carry.
No, it's a constitutional carry, and a few states have gone constitutional carry, which means basically that, according to the Constitution, you have the right to bear arms. Mm-hmm. So you can either wear your gun concealed, or you don't have to, and you just basically put, you basically allow, as long as you're not committing any crimes. Mm-hmm. Now, does that lower crime? Some people say it does. Some people say it doesn't. And I will say that there are a purported amount of shootings.
There's like a shooting every single day.
In some parts of Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then
overnight there were shootings at people's houses, there were overnight shootings.
But then here's the deal too, that in California we have a lot of shootings, but we're not supposed to have guns. So, and then someone asked about the magazine thing, and
what was the question about that?
The question was whether or not we should.
What is your view on gun magazine limitations?
Yeah. So here's my view on that, and this is just my view, and does not reflect Diane's view or the view of anyone else, but the bad guys have long clips. I've seen cops make stops, and these guys have 30-round magazines. I don't think anyone needs 30 rounds of magazines, the extended clip, unless you're trying to do something wrong. However, I think it's kind of screwed up if I have 9 bullets and he has 39 bullets. I mean, clearly it's going to change the scope of everything. And you can't legislate magazines because you can try to, and they've been trying to do it, but literally, let me put it this way. Arizona has no limitations on gun magazines, and you can drive to Arizona and have your friend buy you any magazine you want, or you can buy a magazine and bring it back to California. So there's no way to stop people from getting extended. And
because the laws are different, and they're different states.
And in Arizona, right? I saw a drum. 2 drums like this that hold 9 millimeters bullets in each one, and it fits into a handgun. And you're right. So Bill Van Reen wrote, in my opinion, open carry is foolish. Why not let everyone have a gun? and where to try.
Why let everyone know you have a gun and where to try and take it from?
I prefer concealed carry because I like the element of surprise. Mm-hmm. If you don't know I'm carrying a gun, then if you know I got a gun, then you know, okay, this guy's got a gun. I got to get to him before he get to me. But if you don't know, and I assume, and just like I met people that go, Stanley Roberts, man, I love your work. That's in Arizona, right? And I go, thank you, I appreciate it. He goes, man, I hope you're carrying. I go, well, wait, I'm not, why? Because you're not carrying. And they lift their shirts up and they all got guns. And I go, oh, I guess they are carrying. So you assume that everybody in Arizona is carrying a gun.
Carrying, yeah. I started assuming everybody in Arizona is carrying. Bill Van Ram says, when I was younger, San Francisco had open carry as long as the gun was unloaded.
But that's just, remember that nurse who got in trouble? Wait, remember the nurse that got in trouble?
Yeah, that was in
Phoenix.
That was Phoenix?
That was she lived in our complex.
That's right, yeah.
So there was a nurse that she went to the airport and forgot to put her gun away. She had her gun in her luggage, and they said to her, is it loaded? And she said, why would I carry an unloaded gun?
Yeah.
And so, but she got in trouble. She had an ankle bracelet on, ankle monitor, because the federal government doesn't treat guns the same way some cities do.
That's the crazy part. Like, remember the guy at SFO who was from Arizona and just put his gun on the counter?
Yeah. So again, you're right. San Francisco, the guy from Arizona
the airport
walks into the airport and goes, oh, I forgot to check my gun. And he puts it on the counter and they clear the airport up.
Yeah.
So people are smart, but people are hella dumb.
Which one do you think people are more so of? Smart or hella dumb? Hella dumb. Okay, so Betty Veronica says, I heard a good comment on another stream. Law enforcement and military have to be trained to use their weapons. Why can an 18-year-old just buy something like that? My opinion.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, literally, we were down the street from 3 gun stores, and one of them had a howitzer, rocket launcher, silencers. When we first walked into a store,
the silencers were eye-opening.
It was like, wait, you guys got silencers?
That's illegal here, right?
Well,
in California?
I don't even know anymore.
Oh.
I don't know what's legal and what's illegal anymore because the laws change I've been here for 30 days and there are so many laws that have changed. And people, and
man.
And so, New Mexico has CCW to conceal.
But you can open carry with a holster.
Yeah, but the whole thing about open carry with no bullet, no round, that's like giving somebody a.
Well, what's the point of open carrying if you don't even if your gun has to be empty? It's almost like saying, "Oh yeah, that guy has a gun. Let's get him," but he can't defend himself because it's unloaded. So why would you even open carry?
Wait, remember the guy when you was a kid? I remember this when I was in high school. So there was a fight outside of our school, and when the guy says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to my trunk. I'll be right back," right? And the guy goes, "I'm not gonna let you get to your trunk. Why am I gonna let you get to your trunk?"
Because he was gonna go and get a gun.
It probably was, but why would I let you go get your trunk? Go to the trunk and get. If you tell me you're gonna go get something out your trunk, I'm gonna beat your ass before you get to the trunk. Because I'm not gonna give you. If you got a gun with no magazine, then why not just have a car with no gas? It's useless. You can just throw the. You ever seen the movies where they throw a gun at somebody? I'm like, that gun costs $800. Ain't no way on earth I'm throwing my gun at you.
Oh man.
Challenge guy here. I challenge her to wear a pair of reading glasses with all stream. Okay, just for the record,
that's the same guy as last time. Yeah.
She wore the glasses and you didn't even show up. So we're not playing that game again, challenge guy. She had them on for the whole show.
I love that you're
and you didn't even show up. So fail. So just go ahead and give us our money now.
What's LE? LE? Oh, law enforcement and military are citizens who join organizations to provide training. LE only tests once a year, and most military jobs don't require testing after basic training. Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so gun training, and someone asked me one day, what's the difference between, I guess he's not listening because I told him it ain't happening. He just has to be reading glasses. Sure, what was I going to say? I lost it.
No idea.
Yeah, whatever. It got thrown off by fuel caution 100. We moved, Veronica. We moved September 1st. We got here.
Yeah, so we've been here for a month already.
Then September 3rd, the heat wave came through, and I got a notice from PG. Someone asked which is PG&E or SRV.
Oh, SRP. But we had APS.
So the difference in Arizona was that you have 2 different
Yeah,
provider.
SRP or APS.
But they're in the same city.
Yeah, and sometimes I would get mail for SRP, and it's like we don't even have SRP.
We're around the border, so they wouldn't know.
Yeah. Well, so we had APS. So do you want to do APS versus PG&E? Do you want to do that one?
APS was legit. You got a bill, you paid it, you moved on, and they actually set up.
Well, APS, but this is the thing, though, and I think this is what it is with a lot of companies. APS had a long list of fees. There were a long list of fees on there, and I'd be like, I don't understand what this is for. Like, I don't understand any of this. Why can't we just say this was your electricity usage, and this is for this amount of days, and then leave it at that? I don't understand why there's the processing paper fee. I don't even get paper. What do you call it? I don't even get paper bills. I have them do electronic, but then they send you a paper bill to tell you that you're doing something electronically now.
Oh yeah, but that's a convenience fee.
I don't. Oh god.
So wait, so you have to pay to use the paper. So they see us saying, "Hey, you're using paper," so we have the processing charge for the paper. So you can, but then they say, "But you can switch to electronic where there's no more paper." But then there's a convenience fee. Yeah. So either way, you're being feed.
Well, there's a convenience fee when you pay rent too. Remember? When we paid rent, there was a convenience fee for paying electronically versus writing a check. That was how it was for me in LA too.
Oh wait, I got a good one for you before we go because we're about to wrap this thing up.
Wait, but we didn't answer APS or PG&E.
They both suck. So no, but I will say
okay, that's a draw.
I will say this: I paid our rent electronically when we worked at our old complex. Mm-hmm. And I would pay it from my desk at my office. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I put it for rent. And you see the wheel spinning. And I'm like, okay, it went through, the wheel spinning, once it went through. Mm-hmm. And I go about my business. On the fourth day, there's a note stuck through the door.
Oh, yeah.
And it says that we're being evicted. I'm like, wait, we're being evicted? Why are we being evicted? It says, because you, for lack of paying your rent. And I said, but we paid our rent. I just saw it go through. He said, well, we didn't get it on our end, so therefore you didn't pay your rent. So not only did we get an eviction notice on our fourth day, they also gave us a $75 serving fee. Now, keep in mind, the office is
really downstairs. 100
yards total.
Yeah.
So for $75 for them to walk from here to give us the thing, it says, oh, and also there is a process server fee for $25. Mm-hmm. And I went off because I'm like, no, wait, hold it. First of all, we pay electronically. I saw it go through. Well, we don't have any. Oh, and then their computer apparently had a misfunction.
Yeah.
So because their computer
became our problem.
It became our problem. And instead of them just asking us, hey, we didn't get your rent, they just got eviction notice. And I was like, what is going on? I've never, I mean, literally, it was so the rent in Arizona for where we were was due on the 1st. But you couldn't pay on the 1st because if you paid on the 1st, then they would inadvertently leave out one of the parts of the bill.
Yeah.
Meant you got a late notice because you didn't. So you had to pay.
You didn't pay like the bill in its entirety because they still didn't tack on like some fees or whatever.
Some fee that was supposed to be on there didn't go on the 1st.
Like the water, I think also didn't go on the 1st.
So it had to go. It went on the 2nd. So you literally had to pay on the 2nd because if you paid on the 3rd,
then it would be considered late,
and then you get a late fee. So you only had one day to pay.
I don't even know. I just think the whole system sucks.
Oh, but my favorite.
What?
Speeding tickets.
I've never got one.
You know those camera tickets that you get? Well, it's an honor system.
Oh, in Arizona. Yeah, in Arizona it's an honor system.
It's an honor system. So in other words, if they catch you speeding on a camera, you have 90 days to pay it once you get served.
They mail it to you,
right?
It to you.
Yeah. Yeah. You have 90 days if you want to.
Is that still how it goes?
As far as I know, it's still the same thing. Here's what makes it different. Randomly, someone gets picked to get served by a process server. So if you get served by a process server, and it may not be every cities are different, but if you get served by a process server, then you have to pay the fine. Mm-hmm. But if you don't get served by the process server and 90 days goes by, it falls off.
Not here. Not in California.
Do you ever get that? So we got everything. I'll ask that question in a minute, Gabriel. Yeah, but yes, the answer is yes.
7th round, California versus Arizona. Jaywalking, guns, and other crazy state laws. State laws are strange, but guns are everywhere.
Yeah.
Gosh, what a great summary, Massowells.
So it's really weird because you literally, they give you a notice that there's a speed camera. They tell you in advance that there's a speed camera. So, and you have to be at least 11 miles over for it to activate the speed camera.
Mm-hmm.
And they put signs up 50 and 100 yards away. So, hey, there's a camera coming up. So slow down.
So you've been warned.
So you've been warned. Now, Scottsdale, I think, is the one that actually serves you with a process server. Mm-hmm. Now, speeding tickets by police. So in California, if you get a regular speeding ticket, you sign it to prove that you got the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
In Arizona, for a regular speeding ticket, they just give you the ticket and say
you don't have to sign it in Arizona.
No, you do.
Oh,
but not the regular ones.
Oh, okay.
You just get the ticket and you go about your business. Unless you're doing something called criminal speeding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Criminal speeding is when you exceed the speed limit by more than 20 miles, I believe it is. But if the speed limit is 80 and you go 85, then that's still criminal speeding. And you have to sign the ticket and you have to see a judge.
See, I like William Parks. I like how they do it in Maryland. Here in MD, if you don't pay a camera ticket, they'll suspend the vehicle's registration until it's paid. And then MVA will add on their fees for having a suspended registration. Don't they do that here in California?
Yeah.
That's how it should be done everywhere. I mean, in my opinion, but and Radar says $100 fine for Albuquerque, New Mexico, and won't affect your insurance, but going to collections if you don't pay. Gosh, so like every state like has something different.
Very different. There's no uniformity in all the states. All right, so we're over. We're
you want to read this one?
Go ahead, read it.
Betty Veronica, landlords behaving badly. I hate to say it, but they're likely seeing your skin color and trying to push you out. I think for the Phoenix, I think that wasn't the case. So I will say this because it's a big complex. So we had like over 400 units and everything was automated. So if some person did not see and they had their system failure, right? So like really everything's automated. If they don't get anything through the computer, they automatically assume it was us or like anybody of the other residents that didn't do anything, because we saw a lot of different places have the notices for like eviction, and especially this one place on the first floor that we saw. So I don't necessarily think it's that. I mean, hey, anything's possible, but
all right.
But in this case, I don't think it was.
Okay, hold on. So Jerry Sinner, I love the last name. Boyd, I have a story for you. Do you have a second for me to share? All right. Do you want to share it on a video, or do you want to just share it as typing it out? So what you want to do? And if you want to come on video, then we'll send you a link and you can join in for a minute. And then we will see what that's what you have to say. So go ahead and start typing, or tell me what you want to do.
Betty Veronica, basically, yes. Hey, and then while we're waiting for that response, if you're on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, a like,
or stars on your Facebook.
And then if you're on Twitch,
there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. Join Twitch.
Yeah.
Which state has insurance? We talked about that Radar, and actually our insurance went down.
Oh, Stanley, has highest insurance rates.
When we got to California, and we have better coverage and less price. Yeah.
Arizona's drivers are, I guess, worse.
Well, because
and what we've experienced.
I was told by the insurance guy that he said because there's a lot of unlicensed drivers.
And you don't have to renew your license in Arizona until you turn 65. So that could be another reason.
And that means that if you were horse and carriage when you first got your license, you don't know any new laws. You just know what the horse and carriage was.
This is why I'm dreading taking.
Can you say on here approximate area you reside in? If not, that's okay. I'll say it's Pacifica, but that's as far as I'll go. I'm not going to go into like details of where. I'm not going to give you the street address and unless you want to mail me $100 million, then we can talk offline. But yeah, we are in Pacifica. So if you see us at the Pacifica store, no, that's where we are.
There's a store called Pacifica Store?
Yes, in Pacifica.
Oh, you're being facetious.
Yes, I am. How coverage is between. So the coverage between. What is your YouTube account now? It's Mr. Bally Productions, and we need to get to 10,000 people. I really expect to start ramping up. I mean, I know I've been here 30 days and I haven't pushed anything out. We haven't started shooting anything, but we need to. I'm literally looking for investors so we can start doing this right. This landlord has had to evict 2 tenants. Lovely city. It is a lovely city when the fog's not here. I'm trying to read this. It keeps moving on me. That's why.
Which one do you want me to read?
This landlord has had 2 evicts.
Has had 2 evict. I think 2
Oh,
is
2.
in TO, but yeah. Has had to evict 2 tenants, both white. One caused almost 100,000. Damn, that's a lot of money and damage.
So Nicole asks, is the rent cheaper in Arizona than here? It used to be, but because a whole bunch of people are moving, and I won't say Californians because it's not necessarily true. But what had happened was people started moving all over because they heard it was cheaper. And the problem is that it was cheaper, so everybody moved here, which made the prices go up.
Yeah.
And literally, our gases were $1 less than California gases at one point.
Remember when we first moved to Arizona and gas was $1.99?
I remember I got it for $1.98.
That was amazing.
So, thank you, Gabriel, for typing the link. I'm still waiting for this one guy. We got to go pretty soon, but he'll be typing something out.
Oh, Gabriel's cousin Gabriel says his cousin is moving to Menlo Park to work for Facebook at the end of the month. That's awesome.
We just wrote that about what part of California. We're in Northern California. Okay, 2 years ago, I was driving up on Highway 26 at 6 a.m. going to Stockton to Linda.
Going from Stockton
to Linden. I had a car in front of me.
Slow down.
I had a car. I hate when it moves.
I had a car in front of me. Slow down, but keep going. I ended up seeing a body in the middle of the highway. I pulled over to find the gal hit by a car and not moving. A few minutes later, I see a car with a guy standing by it with lights off. He was in shock, and he was the guy who hit her. He wasn't talking or moving.
Wow,
my gosh.
That is a crazy story.
That is wild.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Yeah, same. I'm really sorry you had to experience that. That's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Jerry, if you can and if you need to, talk to someone because that's hard to deal with.
And also, before we go, we're going to send our prayers out to everybody in Florida who were impacted by Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
And
along the East Coast too.
Yeah, the East Coast. The gal lived.
Oh,
wow.
Good. Oh my gosh. That's good to hear, Jerry.
I haven't seen this car breaking scams yet, but those usually happen to high-end vehicles. And if you leave someone enough space, then you can't be caught up in that scam. At least I hope so. Hope not. Anyway.
Wait, radar? It says, do you see car breaking scams? Is that breaking as in like your brakes?
When people slam on their brakes to try to get you to rear end them.
Oh, got it.
It's scams for the insurance scams. They try to get you to rear end somebody else by causing your high-end car to crash into them.
Bill Van Ram says Pacifica has a nice gun store and Mosetti's Bakery. You told me about Mosetti's Bakery.
Yeah.
Where's the gun store at?
I haven't found it yet.
Oh, hey, Bill Van Ram, did you want to message us the address of that gun store?
No, we'll find it.
Okay.
Google is our friend.
Google's our friend. All right.
All right. Anyway, everybody, we do appreciate it. It's already over our limit. We usually go about an hour. We don't really have a time limit, but we try not to be, have you here forever because people have to go to bed and have to go to work tomorrow. And
what the heck?
What?
This story that bad drivers of North Central Maryland typed was crazy too. Sorry, I was just reading. Back in the 80s when my mom was an FTO with BCOPD, she almost ran over a drunk laying in the middle of Dunley Valley Road. Guy had wrecked his car farther up on the road, got out and left the scene, then decided to lay down and take a nap in the middle of the road. That's very odd. So he decided
to... You know what
FTO is? Foot traffic officer?
No.
Don't make fun of me.
Field training officer.
Oh, field training.
I told you a story. I gave you that class before.
You did, babe. Don't be disappointed in me though. I can't remember everything.
Yeah, thank you. I need a new dash cam because mine is failing. I don't know. I got to California. It just said I quit.
Oh yes. Dash cams are your friends.
Yes.
Yeah, he needs a new dash cam.
And if I prefer the 90s or 2000s, I like them.
For what? Music or just for the years we were living?
I like the 90s.
I like the 90s for music, but I like the 2000s because I met this guy.
Oh. All right, guys. Well, remember, on my Twitter, it said I was born in 1896. Think about that. Anyway, you guys, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. We enjoy it. We'll hopefully see you next week. God willing.
God willing.
And, every day is a challenge, so we'll see.
That's true.
Good night, everybody. And buy me a VFO dash cam.
Buy VFO dash cam, he says.
I know, I'm telling him to buy me one.
Oh, what the heck is VFO?
I know, but
or is it
VIFO? Google it.
Google's your friend.
Google's your friend. Yeah. So my Kenwood got here in Kenwood not now. It's like, what the heck? Oh, so it's VIOFO. NGO and Bingo was his name. Oh. All right, guys.
All right, I'm a boomer.
I'm millennial.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, how do I get out of this after so long?
We get out of here. It's so long. You forgot.
Thank you for listening to Millennial Boom with Diane Faith and Stanley Roberts. Millennial Boom and Reasons Why Aliens Will Never Invade Earth and Caught Misbehaving videos are made possible through viewer donations. Check out www.linktree.com/MrBadleyTV to see how you can help. See you next week.